All praise and glory goes to Yahweh.
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutations unto the elect men feeding the sheep of Yahweh. Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, in sincerity and truth with his great gospel. This is Brother Kawalia.
This is the brother Shatia.
GMS Chicago. And we got the beloved Brother Shatia, man. He went overseas. Boy, he seen some things. And when he brought these images back, and we're looking like Esau done took what claim to these, what we call them, what they call these castles, right? Esau done took claim to these castles, and when you look at the structure, you look up the way these castles were built, and you're like, nah, this is not the same structure from the Roman Empire. This is not the same structure from the Greek Empire or from Mount Petra. Yeah, one thing Esau did, he invaded lands and took over people's nationalities and their things. And now he's trying to act like he's the European. And we know the word Europeans go back to the word Europa. That was a Phoenician god, Phoenician goddess, right? So we know that's madness, man. Esau, you're not the Europeans. You're not the Anglo-Saxons, right? Who are you? The Edomites.
Let me get that, Job 9 and 24.
Come.
Just as Job 9 and 24, it says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And as the brother was saying, you know, the Edomites don't build like this, okay? Besides, the brother said, this is not the architecture of the Roman Empire, the Grecian Empire, or of Mount Petra. Now, the first castle you saw, okay, this is Edinburgh Castle in Edinburgh, Scotland, okay? This is the home of our great forefather, okay, King James, Robert the Bruce, okay? This is what our forefathers was doing, living in immaculate places, okay? Because you all remember when you were growing up in school, what did your teacher tell you? Well, we don't know too much about the Dark Ages. That was a time where, you know, knowledge wasn't all that great. It was a dark time for mankind. Technology wasn't all that great. Seriously? This picture says a whole lot different. This magnificent piece of architecture, quite frankly, puts almost everything I've seen in this modern world to shame. This is what Jake was doing during the Dark Ages. Living good.
Hey, you know, I got to get this out for you right quick. Bear with me.
Okay.
You just said something that was beautiful. This is the book of Job 13 and 4, but ye are forgers of lies.
Yes.
Hey, you talking about the Dark Ages. You didn't know what was going on during the Dark Ages. But you know that there was a lot of, what they said during the Dark Ages, that's when they trained the white people not to sleep with their animals, right?
Yes.
Because at first they used to live with their pets. That's how the chicken pox and all these different diseases came about. Even in the movies, you see Jake was living in these castles, and you had Edomites living in tents.
Right. The good movie that shows you that is Quest for Fire. It shows you the origin of the so-called white man. And that's why it says in the book of Job, hey, he wouldn't allow them to sit with the flock of his dogs.
Oh, man, come on, man. Oh.
Okay? Now, this next picture you all are seeing here, this is in the Netherlands. And I'm butchering it, but it's called Muidersloot Castle. That's Muiderslot. It's Muidersloot Castle in the Netherlands. Okay? This is another great piece of architecture that Jake was living in at the time. All right? A king was living in here.
You got the water around this, man. Come on, man.
I took my girl to see this. Man, she was so fucking woo. She was like, oh my God, that's a castle. It got a water. It's like a fairy tale. I was like,
man, come on, man. This
yeah.
is where they be walking in the movies.
Yes.
Or you watch this is close.
And you see, I don't know if you all can see it, but if you zoom in, you might not be able to see it.
Which one you want?
But yeah, it won't only zoom in so far, but you got the lion as right the there. Emblem right there. And I don't know if you saw it on the previous picture that we had of the Stirling Castle, but that's a good one too. Okay, you zoom in.
Damn, they got the lion on all of them?
Yes, you got the lion.
Right there, shining, right?
The red lion. Now, you know Edomites don't use the symbol of the lion.
They're the eagle. They're the eagle.
They're the eagle. Okay?
Spirit heavy, bro.
Okay, and so this is another picture. You got this was in Dublin, Ireland. Okay, it was in the church. I can't remember the name of the church, but it was built around, I want to say either the late 12th or the early 1300s. Okay, and so I didn't want to go to this place, but nonetheless, my woman wanted to for the stained glass windows. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. How often are we going to be in Ireland? So we go in and we talk to the lady who you have to pay to go in and see this church. And so I was asking her, so, you know, what's going on in this church? And she said, well, you can see the architecture, you can see the stained glass windows. And that was for, I think, maybe €3 or €4. Nothing expensive. But she said, we also got downstairs in the basement, the king's treasure. And I was like, well, what's that? And she said, there was a king who was very wealthy, and she doesn't know the whole story, but she told me that this very rich and wealthy king donated like a whole bunch of riches, like pictures, gold, like you name it, he just gave it to this church. Okay, and the church kept it down in the basement. So I said, is it worth going to see? And she said, yeah, I think it is. So it's a few extra euros. So I said, no big deal. So we paid the money. We go in, and the inside of the church was very beautiful, you know, as they call the cathedral ceilings. You see the stained glass windows. The architecture was magnificent for something that's been standing for what, 800 some years,
Exactly.
700 some years, you know? So we go downstairs, and it's really dark. And they have these little lights that help you see along the way. And when I come downstairs, this is what I see. This is part of the king's treasure, okay? Now, if you notice, they still use this symbol with the lion and the unicorn today over in the UK. Whenever you see Boris Johnson, that's his name?
Just got kicked out of office,
He
right?
uses this symbol, okay? Kind of like the president has the eagle for his seal. They still use this symbol today. And I want to say the lion was for King James, and his wife had the symbol of the unicorn. And it represents like strength and like unity and purity, if my memory serves me correct. Now, to show you the wickedness of this devil, you got it, brother?
Yes, sir.
The previous picture, if you
All
don't
day.
mind.
Not a
The
problem.
water. Now, let's zoom in. Now, you notice what's going on with the faces of this guy and this guy. The noses are chopped off, and this guy is worse.
Yeah, they just split this shit open.
I mean, you can barely see his nose and his lips. And we all know they only do that when it comes to anything that shows that so-called Negroes was ruling. Because when you go in these museums, when you go to the museum of the Art Institute up there on Monroe in Michigan, now you go through the whole Greek Empire, you go through the Roman Empire, you don't see nothing defiled off their face. Eyes still there, nose still there, lips still there.
But go to Egypt. Go to all them Egypt statues, right? Them Kemet,
Yeah,
so-called, destroyed.
nose is cut off, lips cut off, everything.
Keep speaking, brother.
And see, you have to realize that if these guys were truly the people that were living in this time, why would they deface something so valuable as this? I know when I have something that's precious, I don't defile it. I don't mar it. I don't damage it. But this is what you have. Like we just read in Job 9:24. He covered the faces of the judges. This marring of the nose and the lips of Jake's figures It's their attempt of hiding our identity. Okay? Because when you zoom in, let me zoom in again. Let me zoom in again. There's no nose. Okay? But you can still see the big lips and the big eyes. That's Jake. Now this one is, like I said, is even worse. But you can still see the big lips and the big eyes. And notice their uniform. What do you see at the bottom? They got fringes. Like the other guy's outfit. Fringes at the bottom. Now we all know what group of people rock fringes. All right? It's us, the Israelites, okay? We are the one that rocked the fringes because it was the law. Let me see if I can get that. Okay, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna do Numbers 15 and 38. It says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make fringes." Let's look at this again.
I'm looking at this picture. I'm like, I know they got fringes.
Yeah, those are fringes.
I'm looking. I'm like, I see the fringes.
That's the fringes. Okay? Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders of a ribbon of blue.
Hey, look, you had to do Macho Man Randy Savage. He put fringes on everything he had, and his spirit go back to Gad.
Yep.
His spirit go back to Gad, man. Look at the Gadites. They had fringes on a lot of gear.
Right.
Most of their gear, right? It's a spiritual thing, man. Why? Because they were still following the same laws from what the Lord gave them before they got over to the Americans.
Hi.
The Dark Ages. Oh, yeah, no, man. Oh, I got this one for you, beloved.
Okay, now
this one for you, beloved.
This one, this right here.
Can I give you this right quick, beloved?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Psalms 85 and 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. That's what you got going on right now, man. The truth is being spread out because it took for a brother to go overseas to take pictures to bring it back for the truth to be spread. Because Esau ain't gonna show you this.
Oh no, no.
Esau ain't gonna come back with, oh yeah, this was King James Castle. This was man. You got a brother got to give you this.
And the thing is, if you don't watch timepieces, that you won't even recognize it. I mean, you'll know it's a castle, but it's like you won't have the full effect of it. You can't say, I was there. I seen that castle. I seen the inside of how it looks. It has all these things inside that give you details about history that you just can't learn in a history book. You just actually have to be there to witness it for yourself.
What about in Hollywood? Before they make a timepiece movie, they go to that place. They read a lot about that culture, the clothes, the food. It's like you got to get in that spirit of those people at that time.
Those people who do timepieces, they do very diligent research.
Oh yeah, big time.
Very diligent research. I mean, they missing that one aspect, about the nationality, but outside of that, the stuff is a lot of the times is on point. Now, I didn't mean to scroll back, but this one is in Lisbon, or as they say over there, Lisboa, Portugal. Okay, and this is St. George's Castle. Okay, I want to say it was built around, if my memory serves me correctly, maybe the 1100s. Okay, so this is a very old fortress, and you see the architectural style is very similar to that of what we saw in Edinburgh, Scotland. All bricks. You got the bridge that leads right into the inside. Okay, you got the towers that are alongside here. 1, 2, 3. There's also some in the back, but you can't see that from this angle. Okay, but notice
how many columns. like Esau. Esau all about those columns and the beams.
Right, which we'll get to that.
Oh, come.
You know, the architecture is very similar. All right.
This is my code right here.
Now this
This
one,
is my code right here.
this was Guimaras Castle. Now,
What's that?
this was in a town called Guimaras. It's Guimares. Okay, and this was about just over a 3-hour drive north of Lisbon. Okay, and notice here, the architectural style still the same, and you have you can't see them from this angle, but you have 1, 2 little small towers, 4, and then there's 2 in the back, and then this one is situated, this very tall one in the middle is situated in the middle of the castle, and there's a bridge that links from where you see these 2, and it goes right until you can't, I don't know if you can see the opening of it from here, but there's a bridge that links from the
entrance,
from the entrance at the top where you see in the middle of the small 2 pillars. There's a bridge that links from there all the way to this tall edifice
so
right
this
there.
ain't just for you to walk in easily. You can't come in there unless you get through this bridge.
Well, to get to the biggest tower, you need to go through the bridge. The entrance is actually just past this tower that's screen left. And you got to walk up some big ass stairs to get up into there.
Look at how it's still in structure, and we know this place probably went through a war. They couldn't get in here probably. They couldn't get in there, man. It's fortified.
I mean,
Jake wasn't playing. You don't even know what the hell going on inside.
Like, no, you don't.
You know, it's just a castle.
Right. And you can imagine back in the days, they had guards situated on all these towers. The big ones that you see screen left and screen right, and the ones in the center. And then there's, as I said, 2 in the back, but you can't see from that angle. And when you have these walls inside the castle, there's actually a stairs that lead up to the top of these walls where they could walk around the inside of the castle. Okay, making it so that they could easily see the enemy approaching from all angles.
That's one thing I noticed about these pictures you send me. These castles, they were set up to fight off an enemy invasion. That's what it looked like to me. Because this ain't nothing you could just sneak in easily. There's no windows. There's really the only place to open is what the main gate.
Right, good, but your screen left, that tower.
Con. After that, ain't no, you gonna climb this high tower to get in here? When you got somebody sitting up top with aiming arrows at your head?
And a lot of these castles, when you go over to Europe, they're sitting on top of hills that are almost as tall as the Sears Tower. So you're not just about to casually walk up there and be like, we ready for war and about to take this thing over. Okay, this is how you know that when the Lord knew it was time for us to go down, he knew exactly how to take us down. You got something, brother?
Got something,
swing that sword, brother.
Job 20:27. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. And we've seen the heavens, man. The information is out here, man. This dude is not the person you think he is. He is not the so-called people who build these castles, man. The Anglo-Saxons, the Europeans. He is not the Egyptians, right? Because he didn't, and the last samurai. He didn't claim to be the last samurai, the last of the Mohicans, right?
Right, he everything but himself.
No, he ain't never gonna bring up no Esau Edom.
Hell no.
He ain't gonna bring up no Esau Edom. Matter of fact, since you talking about Esau Edom, let's just look at the difference in the architect. Look at this shit. Right? They just carved up columns out of a fucking mountain. They didn't build a whole infrastructure like Jake over here. They took a whole mountain, what it says, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. I'll get that for you, brother. Go ahead, speak on that, brother.
Yeah. Now see this? Yeah, here it is. Now this is Obido's Castle. That's Obido's, Obidos, Obido's
Obito.
Castle, and this was like it was about 40. It's about like a 45-minute drive west of Lisbon, and this castle is huge. Now they didn't allow us to go in. They don't allow visitors to go in for whatever reason.
Okay.
But some
The
castles
other ones
are
you
like,
went in the other ones?
yes,
Mm.
yes. But for this one, no. And this is a castle that's literally situated on top of a hill that if you were to walk it, it would easily take you about 15, 20 minutes to walk up the hill.
Up a hill?
Yes, 15, 20 minutes. And we drove up by car, as you can see, the car is at the bottom. Okay? But once again, look at this architecture.
Shit off the chain.
Look at that. Look at the bricks. Look at the architectural style as far as it comes to the top. And you see, if you don't mind, brother, this wall right here, screen left from the castle, that extends all the way around the town.
Around the town?
Around the town, which easily has to be maybe 2 or 3 city blocks. So you can literally, and that's what it's known for.
The castle leaks through the whole town.
The castle is within the walls. Now the castle is probably about maybe like a quarter of a city block, but the walls around it.
This whole area right there in front of us? Or?
Yeah, it might be from the. Well, they can't see it on the screen. Sorry about that, but probably maybe like half the length of a city block. That's how wide it is.
Okay. Word.
But the wall that's attached to it and goes around the entire city where the town is located in, that's almost like 3 city blocks. And the walls go, and you can literally get on top of this wall and walk all the way around the city, around the entire city.
So it seems like the people who are in control, they could watch the whole city.
All the time, yes. The whole time. And like I said, they're on top of a hill that easily would take you 20 minutes to walk. So you're not about to just, as I said, you're not about to just come up and storm this place.
There's a saying, king of the hill.
Yes. Now, we just saw all these great architectural wonders of Europe. Now, look at this is Bad Uncle Esau. Now, look. You see in these pictures, I don't know if we can zoom in.
I got you, beloved.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Now, you see the columns. You see the triangles. This is not the architecture of Israelite.
Fucking triangle
right. Now, we all know you see this type of architecture when you see the White House, when you see the House of Representatives. Oh, that's even perfect.
Well, I got all of them for you, beloved. You already know I had to set us up.
Okay. Big old triangle.
Look at that triangle right there.
You got the columns.
Columns, triangle, and here we go. What is that? Columns, triangle. Let's go to Washington, D.C.
Columns, triangle.
Edom.
All over again. Okay.
I got you, beloved. Let me sneak this in right quick.
Swing that sword, brother.
All day, beloved. Jeremiah 49:16. Matter of fact, let me go to 15. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen. When you go to Obadiah, it says, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Talking about Edom, right? It says, thy terribleness have deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, that holdest the height of the hill, thou should make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh.
The clefts of the rocks.
Nigga just built, just designed something off of a rock.
I mean,
He didn't take the rock and build a house with the rock like you supposed to do. Take the stones and put them together and build a house.
Right.
He said, man, let me just build some out of this rock.
exactly. You can see there's a clear difference in the architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Clear difference. And that within itself lets you know who. Okay, the White House.
The White House.
Columns.
Look at that. Another building.
What's that, in Italy?
I think so. Con.
In Greece?
There go the Roman speech. Everything
The
go
Latin.
back to Rome. Yeah, the Latin. Come on, man. Y'all can't hide yourselves, man. Y'all can't hide yourselves, man.
You can't hide. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, like the Spirit bear witness that we are the children of the Most High. The Spirit bear witness that you guys are the Edomites. You can't hide it, man. You're all about death. You're all about blood. You're all about your greed, right? Deception, lies. And you done build up a society with these images that look just like Mount Petra, that look just like Greece, that look like Rome. Here, and it says the deadly wound was healed. So we know you're coming back with the same spirit, man. You ain't gonna change.
Right. And it's all because this truth is coming out. Let me get 2nd Ezra 6 and 27. And it says, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared. Okay, and the dark ages is part of our truth.
Mm-hmm. Dark ages, like you said earlier, right?
It's part of our truth, because this lines up with Revelation when it talks about how that beast was chained for 1,000 years. It shouldn't deceive the nations for 1,000 years. What do you think that's talking about? It's talking about the time when we were ruling, all right? When we were doing it big like this. This is what we were doing. Doing it big. You got it, brother?
I got you, beloved.
Swing that sword.
This is the book of Revelation. Bear with me, 19, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yep. This Revelation 19 and 1. And after these things, I heard a great voice. Bear with me.
That's all good. Take your time.
Well, this is the right verse. All right, perfect. Revelations 20 and 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Yep, that 1,000 years is during the Dark Ages. That's why Esau, right now in his power, he said the Dark Ages, they didn't have no knowledge yet, because he was a caveman. He was under us. He was a servant.
You were driven into all the caves and forests all over Europe.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just Mount Petra, okay? It was all the forests and caves around Europe.
The Caucasus Mountains of South Georgia, Russia. You call yourself Caucasians that go back to the mountains, right?
Right.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. We're in that season right now. He's loose. And when he got loose, he said, man, all these buildings y'all seen in the Dark Ages, that was my stuff. We did it.
Right.
We built it. We're the face of knowledge and wisdom and understanding. We're God's chosen people. No, you're the fucking devil the Bible talk about, man. Shalom.